So we're Group 1A, and my name is Caitlin. This is Ann, Charlie, Charles, and Fiona. And our topic is purchasing organic and sustainable foods. Now, first of all, does everybody have a crossword puzzle? Everybody have one? So we created this crossword puzzle. It goes along with the presentation, so feel free to go along with it, have fun, and if you have any questions about it, just let us know at the end. So first of all, I just want to start off with some definitions. Basically, the purpose of our presentation was sustainability and purchasing. So sustainability is being able to get today's needs without compromising the needs, without compromising the generations after us and what they need. And then also sustainable agriculture is a little bit different, and it's the ability to farm and produce food indefinitely without compromising the ecosystem or the health of the ecosystem. Also organic. A lot of us know what organic is. We see the little sticker, we see the 5-digit number at Safeway. It is a USDA approved food without the use of chemicals, synthetic fertilizers, or sewage sludge, which is disgusting. And it cannot be genetically modified. And then if you have meat or poultry, it cannot be fed unless it's organic feed, and then it cannot have the use of hormones or antibiotics. And then just one last thing with local food. A lot of people have different versions of what local food means. I was just trying to make it a little bit easier for all of us, so a lot of people are from different states, so if you want to consider local food in your own state, or just within 100 miles, that's totally within local food of your home. So some strategies currently used, especially at UC Davis, we do have like locally grown food and sustainable agriculture. Those are the two things that we're going to touch on. The rest of these are strategies used just for better community and better society being sustainable.
So UCs and like institutions in general use a sustainable purchasing policy, which outlines how to purchase environmentally friendly products and how to also dispose of ongoing consumables, which include food waste, paper, glass, and plastic. And the goals of a sustainable purchasing policy are to encourage the use of eco-friendly methods, such as foods that are not packaged in excessive material or grown in a lot of pesticides, and like fish that is not from unsustainable fish farms. And another goal is to promote more nutritious meals, as well as create a better community with local vendors and growers. And the UC Sustainable Purchasing Guide states a specific section of the food procurement, which says that all UCs should purchase at least 20% of sustainable food products by the year 2020. And they use a cradle-to-cradle purchasing standard, which means that all foods should be purchased within accountable, responsible, and environmentally preferable limits.
Okay, so if you want to know if your food is organically grown, you can do some research about the farmers that are selling the product. And we came across 4 methods that take a little extra step beyond just growing it organically. So the first one is IPM, which means integrated pest management. And what that is basically using beneficial plants or bugs such as ladybugs and locate them near where aphids are commonly found. So you get rid of that problem. So the pros to this is that there's close observation of the health of the plants. And also another one is that if you have questions with the farmer, because they spend so much time with the plants, they'll be able to tell you, answer any questions you have. And challenges that if they are unable to get rid of the pest problem, they may have to resort to chemical uses. The second one is the no-till agriculture, and so they place a cover crop over the crop, and then sequesters carbon and prevents soil erosion. And also you don't have to use herbicides, but the one challenge is that if organic methods aren't used to pull out weeds, farmers might have to resort to chemical uses. A third strategy is biodynamic agriculture, and pretty much treating the farm as an organism so that there's no chemical substance going into the farm, and also it helps with long-term sustainability. The challenge is just to maintain it and also just to understand like the whole farm as a whole rather than individual plots. Fourth method is permaculture, which is basically as as it is in nature, so there's no waste, everything's organic, everything's natural. The challenge of this is that it's a lot of work, and with just how society is changing currently, it doesn't really fit in our mold.
So I just want to talk a little bit about the current UC system policy. There is this huge PDF online about it, and it's basically the entire policy, and we decided to look at two rather large sections. So we're going to talk about environmentally preferable purchasing as well as sustainable food service. So with environmentally preferable food purchasing, basically they want to make it large volumes, cost efficient, and just environmentally friendly services as well as products. So when there isn't an environmentally friendly option, then they will work with those current suppliers to try and create an environmentally friendly choice for services and for products. And now that the whole UC system is trying to go more environmentally friendly and preferable, we are actually looking at suppliers specifically with environmentally friendly options, and that's kind of become a requirement when they're looking up suppliers. Not only will the food purchasing be sustainable, but when they have the design, the production, and the management of the packaging will also be sustainable. So then we also have sustainable food services, which when you're considered food and beverage has to meet one of these criteria. There are about 10 criteria, and I just decided to list some that I knew that you guys would recognize. So if we've locally grown, raised, distributed, and handled food, if it's USDA organic, if it's cage-free, if it's Food Alliance certified, those sort of things would definitely stand out to the UC system and be like, okay, we can use this supplier.
So how Davis has been sustainable with its food is that 21% of our foods is from local grown and also organic. 14% of the Dining Commons food is from local providers, and also Davis itself, the olive oil is made here. Meat comes from some of the meats come from the meat lab, and also the produce comes from the student farm that is located here on campus. Also, the Dining Commons has recently implemented SB certification, which is a third party that focuses on sustainability, meaning that if it is SB certified, that the food that is in the dish is locally grown and also seasonal.
So now that Charles mentioned some of the ways that Davis is practicing sustainability with regard to food, I'm just going to briefly touch on some of the ways that the other 9 now UC campuses also practice sustainability. So Berkeley, for example, they already exceed the UC goal of 20% of food purchased has to be sustainable, and they're actually currently at 28%. And they, excuse me, they also use Marine Stewardship Council certified seafood, which is also sustainable. UC Irvine actually serves fair trade coffee on campus, and they participate in Meatless Mondays for their dining halls, and they use 100% organic eggs in most of their facilities on campus. I don't believe it's all of them so far. As far as UCLA goes, they actually have farm-to-you box delivery locations on campus where students can go and pick them up, and they also have a weekly farmers market on campus for their students. Right now, they're only at about 13.7% of their purchases being sustainable, so they'll need to bump that up to reach the goal of 20% by 2020. And they actually have the first certified green restaurant on a California university campus. UC Merced, they live in a very farming community, so they actually purchase most of their food, most of their produce at least, from local small farmers. And they have a goal in the near future to switch to a reusable container program for their to-go and in the Dining Commons meals. UC Riverside, they have a very large citrus farm near their campus, so they actually use their own citrus in their sauces and marinades, and some of their own eggs are used in their facilities on campus. UC San Diego, they are on track to be 25% sustainable by 2016 and 30% sustainable food purchasing by 2020, so exceeding the 20% goal for all UCs. And they actually have a neighborhood garden on campus, so students, community members, faculty, they can actually purchase a small plot where you can grow herbs, flowers, fruits and veggies, so that's really awesome for their community members. And they also have a farmers market on their campus. UCSF, which is mostly a research facility, but it's also they also have grad students. They 14% of their food is currently sustainable, and they actually just switched over to organic baby food that they're using in their facility, and now they purchase locally grown and organic yogurt, milk, sour cream, and cottage cheese for their facility. UC Santa Barbara, all of their on-campus food facilities are actually Green Business certified as of very recently, and currently 38% of their total food purchases are sustainable. And they actually received, it's a very, very long title, the Higher Education Energy Efficiency and Sustainability Best Practice Award in Sustainable Food Service for one of their on-campus restaurants just a couple years ago. And lastly, Santa Cruz, they actually have quite a large farm on their campus, and 50% of their produce is locally sourced. Currently, 28% of their food purchases are sustainable, and they have a goal of 36% by 2016 and 40% by 2020, which greatly exceeds the 20% goal for UCs.
So other strategies used in Davis include CAF, which stands for Community Alliance with Family Farmers, and it's a nonprofit organization that started in 1978 in Davis. And they advocate a Buy Fresh, Buy Local campaign, which spreads awareness about local farmers and where to buy local produce. And they even have the Eater's Guide to Local Food, which is a searchable database that you can find restaurants, farmers markets within your home and purchase sustainable food that way. And DJUSD, which is the Davis Joint Unified School District, uses a Crunch Lunch program, and it's supported by CAF's Farm to School program, and it helps them buy local produce like fresh fruits and vegetables, and it's used in their daily salad bar for the students. And other institutions that use a sustainable purchasing guide include Yale, and I think Yale outlines a great way of how you yourself can make a difference in purchasing sustainable food by asking yourself several of these questions, like, are your crops grown organically? And you should always follow like what's in the best column, so if they're certified organic but not certified, and then how do you fertilize your soil by composting, and how do you manage pests, and where is your farm located, what size is your farm, and what are your labor practices. So those are some really good questions that you should ask yourself when you're doing your grocery shopping or your next food purchase. Okay, so we're going to lead the group discussion right now. Where have you guys seen in the sites visited or other experienced methods of purchasing organic or sustainable foods?
Anyone?
I haven't gone there, but I know the dining hall uses methods by sustainable.
What kinds of methods have you heard about, or do you know of any?
They buy from local farmers.
Yeah.
They use the student farm.
Mm-hmm. And the co-op? Yeah. Anyone else? So the next question is, in your opinion, do you think organic farming can be enough to feed the world? Why or why not? Yeah.
Can you explain a little bit more about organic farming?
So organic farming, do you want to describe your definition?
Oh, with the sustainable agriculture, it was basically being able to farm food without harming the ecosystem.
And also
So
about,
does that include
Without using pesticides.
Yes.
Mhm.
yes, go ahead.
This is a really political answer, but there's actually more food produced in the world than the population of the world can eat. But the problem is that the food cannot get to the people who are starving, so we have never abundance. So the U.S. can definitely be fed, in my opinion, by organic farming without exporting to the countries whose people are starving. Whether or not they could feed themselves organically is a different question, because soil quality and these sorts of things kind of dictate the volume of food that is produced. And so if they feel that they need certain, well, GMOs are banned in a lot of other countries. So, but whether or not they can produce our standard of organic food in large enough quantities to support their populations, I don't know. Thank you, great.
Any other opinions?
I just wanted to agree with that statement. I feel like it would be ideal if every country could sustain themselves with organic farming, but I believe there are a lot of other political and other issues that a country needs to go through and solve before they can do that. So, so they need to solve all that before they can get there.
Okay, so what are some of your ideas of how and why you should purchase sustainable food?
Better conditions for the animals.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I feel like it's more expensive though to buy sustainable food. I mean, in Davis we could probably do it and it's pretty cheap, but I mean like in other places where organic farming costs a lot of money to get like the pesticides and all of that. I'm not sure how much people think about just the sustainability of food or just the price.
So whether or not it's organic or not, eating within the season is one way of being sustainable. So now eating persimmons, apples, pears, not berries and things that are shipped from, Chile or whatever, would be a sustainable practice.
Yes. Yale's food purchasing guide actually talks about eating within the season and how to extend the season so that you're not getting, strawberries from another country or something when you can just grow it yourself. And going off of that, Yale also talks about how organic feeding or organic farming can feed the world because they've done studies about how Midwestern universities found that organic farms produce yields equal to or higher than those of conventional farms. And also organic farming practices growing foods in soil and organic matter that is drought resistant and better for the environment. And other studies also show that the small diversified farms manage to fit local conditions better and they produce up to 10 times more food than per acre than a large farm. And here are also some reasons about why you should purchase sustainable food.
Alright, so generally with purchasing organic foods, the foods are more, and also purchasing locally, they're more nutritious and also they're a lot fresher, and also it helps out the local farmers, so it boosts up the local economy.
Does anybody have any questions?
Oh yeah, any questions on the crossword puzzle? You guys got it all? We can go over it if you guys have some questions.
We have about 2 more minutes, so.
I mean, is there something that anyone's missing that you just are interested in maybe knowing what the answer is, or have a question about something?
9 down. It's the one for takeout orders.
Oh, this UC campus works with Madera Produce to purchase local produce. It would be UC Merced.
Is it like Merced or UC?
It's Merced.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should be.
So yeah, unless anyone has any more questions, I think that's it.
I had a question real quick. We live in California where there's tons of produce and we could really for the climate. How would you recommend someone in, say, North Dakota practicing sustainable farming where it's cold and half the year and have the options that we have?
I know that with different parts of the country, there are different types of soil and then different climates. So I think it would just be trying to find the type of produce that really grows well in that type of climate. Otherwise, if it's something that they really can't grow, then I think it might be something that they would have to not be as sustainable with, but definitely try and find other options to be sustainable.
Like another reason why you should purchase local foods, because you don't know if the farmer is experimenting with a new vegetable or fruit that can only grow in that specific climate. So it's something that that's interesting that you can try or experiment with that you won't find at your local grocery store.
Thank you.
Thank you,
I
guys.
think time's up, so thank you.